Hi everybody, Levi Clay here, and today I'm going to bring you another tutorial video. Now this demonstrates that I am very much just like you guys. I get excited about music, I follow YouTubers, and I like watching new content. And today I switched on my YouTube subscription button and saw that John Brown of the band Monuments had just dropped another studio update for the band's upcoming record. Now I'm a huge Monuments fan, I cannot wait for this album to come, and if you're unfamiliar with John and his playing, I suggest you go and check out Monuments now. They are a fabulous band. And yeah, go give John a subscription. I'm sure the new album is going to be absolutely killer. So anyway, they are currently dropping little teaser videos from them in the studio, little clips of them playing guitar riffs. And this video opened up with an absolute banger of a riff. In fact, it was so good, I had to stop it immediately and go and transcribe it. And I've been playing it all morning. It's an excellent riff. Currently, I have no idea what the song that it's from is called, but it's a great riff. It sounds like this. Check it out, then we'll come back and I will break it down for you. Okay, so let's break that down. It's a very cool riff. As you can see, I'm going to be playing on my Miner's Hydra. Killer guitar. If you haven't checked them out, they are well worth checking out. And the reason I mention the guitar is because the tuning is important on this riff. He is not tuned to standard tuning. John Brown is not afraid to mix things up when it comes to tunings. He plays with some very interesting tunings, and this is no different to that. So the guitar is actually tuned, which is an open D sus tuning. So it's like drop D, as you'd expect. So you drop your low string down to a D. Then we have an A as expected. A D again, as expected. A G, as expected. But then we tune the top two strings down a tone. So A and D. Which is a very interesting tuning, and it makes some of these little chord movements possible. It enables you to have them ring out a little bit, which is very cool. Anyway, so let's break it down. It sounds like this. So I'll play it nice and slowly for you, and then I'll explain it to you. So something like this. One more time, a little bit faster. So I'm playing it considerably slower than John plays it. It's going to take me a while to get it up to his speed. But in essence, yeah, that is a great representation of the kind of stuff that John does when he plays. So let me break it down for you. It begins with, and when you see the tab for this, you will see that the bends are very important. We're not just playing the 4th fret on the low D string. There is a slight bend. That's important. He then repicks that note with a palm mute. We jump over to the G string, play 6, 4 on the D string, pull off to the open string, and there's your basic motif. That idea then repeats, but we're kind of offset by a beat now. If you wanted to really analyse that, I guess you could say that that's a bar of 3/4. It's played in a groove of 4, so it's polymetric. You're playing it's hemiolas, polymeters. It's a grouping of 3, but played against 4. I could analyse that in a lot more detail, but we'll skip over that. We then tag this into the next section with a slide from 4 down to 2 on the low D string, hit 4 on the A string, 2 on the D string, and then we pull off. Now that actually brings us back to beat 1. We're pulling off onto the beat 1 of bar 3. Which is cool because then it allows us to play the same rhythmic motif, but an eighth note later. So we've offset that rhythm. It's now being syncopated against the beat. Cool. One more time. We then actually hit an open A string. I'll play that a little bit faster for you. And again. Let's try and get that right. And even faster. Now, you have to watch John playing this. He has a very articulate picking hand, lots of downstrokes, aggressive sound in his picking hand. He really has an incredible picking hand, one of the best on the metal scene, if you ask me. Okay, so then the tag before we move into the next chord sound is this. That rings out, and this is where that tuning makes this all possible. So we hit 5 on the A string, slide up to 7, 9 on the D string, slide up to 11, and then we have this chord 7, 9, and 11 on the G, B, and high E strings. Though I guess technically that's the G, A, and D strings. Now that rings out. And I believe he picks down, 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 up, down. Now that's the first part to practice. Once you get that down, you can then move on to the next section. Now, when hitting this chord, the next bar, this note holds over for half a beat. So actually, if you were to practice the next bar, you would 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. It's hard to explain. When you look at the notation on screen, you can see, though, that this palm muted open D string comes on the second eighth note of the bar. That's very important. So you have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Give you that counting again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So, yeah, you've seen the basic idea there. Very similar to this idea. We're now playing that same motif, but on a lower set of strings, pulling off to the open D string. There's your basic idea. Nice D major chord sound there, right? That's your basic idea. And then again, we have this very cool arpeggio that's very similar to what we played before, starting with that chord. 11, 9, and 7. Hitting 9 on the D, sliding up to 11, picking 9 on the A, pulling off to the open A string, open D string. Try that again. And then the final bar, you have this. That's 11 and 12 on the low D, 11 on the D, 14 on the G, pull off 11 open on the A, and then 16 open on the D. When you tie that together, try again. So it's a nice little riff. Very tricky to play at speed, especially the speed with which John plays it. Now, if you analyse the way he plays that, you'll notice that that final part is pretty much all downstrokes, I believe. Again, palm muted and aggressive. That's a big part of John's thing, being aggressive and having this very tight rhythm hand. So there's the basic riff idea, and this can be looped. There's no guarantee that this is how it will appear on the album. He could go into something completely different after this section. But as it currently sits, this is a great thing to practice. I'll give you the count in 1, 2, 3, 4. So, crazy, a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very cool riff. Of course, I can't play it quite to the speed that John plays it, so why don't we close this off by having John play that again for you, and I'll put the tab on screen. Sounds something like this. And there we have it, an untitled John Brown / Monuments riff from their upcoming record, I assume. As I say, I'm sure you're going to absolutely love Monuments if you are unfamiliar with them. I would like to think you probably are familiar with them, so please do go and check them out if you are unfamiliar. Send John my love. He's a fabulous metal guitar player, very creative. He has an incredible right hand, as we talked about. I'm sure you will enjoy what he is doing. Lastly, I just want to extend a huge debt of gratitude to these people over here. These are my supporters over on patreon.com. They support me in various tiers. They help to keep these videos coming, so a massive thank you to you guys. You are good people, and if you would like to be like those good people, you can check me out on Patreon. But of course you don't have to do that at all. You can check me out though by clicking this button up here. You can subscribe by clicking this button down here, do as the Glenn shirt says, and then there are 2 more of my videos here and here. Thank you so much for all the support, guys. I hope you found something you enjoyed, and until next time, keep rocking.